Chapter 5. Stop proving and start doing. You're still trying to prove something to your parents, to your peers, to people who don't even think about you, to people who doubted you, to everyone who said you couldn't, wouldn't, or shouldn't. You're building your life around proof, around showing them, around making sure everyone can see that you're capable, valuable, and worthy of respect. And it's destroying your potential. The need to prove yourself is insecurity, disguised as ambition, and it makes you play small. Here's how it works. When you're focused on proving you're worthy, you don't choose the path that leads to actual growth. You choose the path that demonstrates worthiness to others. You choose safe challenges you're likely to win, rather than meaningful challenges that might expose inadequacy. You pick the degree that sounds impressive over the skill that actually interests you. You take the job with the title that impresses people over the opportunity that develops capability. You post about the workout program you started over actually completing the workout program. Everything is performance. Everything is optics. Everything is designed to signal to an imagined audience that you're doing well, progressing, becoming successful, but you're not actually building anything real. This constant performance for an imagined audience keeps you locked in competition with others instead of commitment to growth. You're not asking, what will make me better? You're asking, what will make me look better? Those are completely different questions, with completely different answers. One leads to competence, the other leads to carefully managed perception. And here's the trap. The more you focus on looking capable, the less capable you actually become. Because real capability is built in the dark, in private, through unglamorous, repetitive work that nobody sees and nobody celebrates. But you can't do that work if you're obsessed with the audience, if you need people to witness your progress, if you need validation that what you're doing matters. That's the key. The need to prove yourself isn't driving you forward. It's holding you back. It's keeping you in a perpetual performance where the goal isn't excellence. It's applause. Think about the last goal you shared publicly, the thing you announced, documented, posted about. How much energy went into the work itself versus managing how that work appeared to others? How many progress photos did you take? How many updates did you post? How much time did you spend crafting the narrative of your transformation for an audience? Now, imagine if all that energy went into the actual work. If instead of photographing the workout, you did another set. If instead of posting about the business, you made another sale. If instead of documenting progress, you made more progress. That's the difference between proving and doing. Real power comes from outcome obsession, not optics obsession. People who achieve lasting success aren't concerned with looking capable. They're concerned with becoming capable. They understand something you need to understand. Competence is not built on a stage. Competence is built in private, through thousands of hours of unglamorous repetition that no one sees, celebrates, or validates until the results are undeniable. The athlete training at 5 in the morning in an empty gym, the entrepreneur making cold calls that lead nowhere for months, the artist creating terrible work for years before producing anything good, the writer filling notebooks no one will ever read. All of it invisible, all of it unrewarded, all of it completely unglamorous. But that's where mastery lives. In the repetition, no one witnesses. In the consistency, no one applauds. In the private commitment to getting better, whether anyone notices or not. You can't access that space if you need an audience, if you need proof that it's working before it's worked, if you need people to acknowledge your effort before you've achieved the result. The need for external validation and the pursuit of actual excellence are incompatible. You can't do both. You have to choose. You have a choice. You can continue trying to prove yourself. You can keep building for the audience, managing perception, making sure everyone knows what you're working on. You can stay in the performance, where every action is designed to demonstrate value, rather than create it. Or you can go dark. You can remove the audience entirely and commit to the work for its own sake. The protocol demands you abandon all proof-seeking behavior and work in obscurity. This is non-negotiable. For the next 30 days, you work in complete silence. No updates, no announcements, no documentation of progress, no audience. Delete the progress photos, all of them, the before pictures, the mid-transformation updates, the carefully staged shots that show how hard you're working. Gone. You're not tracking progress for other people anymore. If you track it at all, it's private. A notebook only you see, data only you analyze, evidence only you evaluate. Stop telling people what you're working on. When someone asks what you've been up to, you give them nothing. Just staying busy, working on some things. You don't elaborate. You don't invite their feedback. You don't seek their encouragement or validation. This will feel wrong. It will feel like you're hiding, like you're being secretive, or antisocial, or ungrateful for support. You're not. You're protecting your work from the contamination of external expectation. Because here's what happens when you work publicly. You start optimizing for the response instead of the result. You make decisions based on what will get the best reaction, not what will generate the best outcome. You choose the training program that looks impressive in videos over the one that's most effective. You work on the project that's easy to explain over the one that's most valuable. You prioritize what's documentable over what's meaningful. The audience changes the work, always, even when you don't mean for it to. So you remove the audience from your process entirely. For 30 days, you work solely for the satisfaction of keeping your word to yourself. That's the only metric that matters. Not likes, not comments, not how impressed people are. Did you do what you said you'd do? Did you show up when you committed to showing up? Did you execute on the plan you made? You measure success by execution, not recognition. This is how you build real power, not the appearance of power, not the performance of discipline. Actual capability that exists, whether anyone acknowledges it or not. It's not about impressing others. It's about becoming impressive. And those are completely different processes. One is external, temporary, and fragile. The other is internal, permanent, and unshakable. Here's your 5th protocol assignment. Go completely dark on all progress. Delete every progress post from the last 6 months. The workout photos, the business updates, the transformation documentation. All of it. Remove the evidence that you're performing your growth. Unfollow or mute anyone whose content makes you feel the need to prove yourself. If seeing their success makes you want to post about yours, They're interfering with your process. Remove them from your feed. Tell no one what you're working on for the next 30 days. Not your goals, not your progress, not your struggles. You work in complete obscurity. The only conversation about your work happens between you and yourself. At the end of each day, you write one sentence in a private journal. Today I kept my word. Or, today I broke my word. That's it. No explanation, no context, no documentation, just the truth about whether you executed. This will be uncomfortable. You'll feel invisible, unacknowledged, like you're working in a void where nothing you do matters because no one's seeing it. Good. That's exactly the point. You need to learn to work when no one's watching, to find satisfaction in execution itself, not the response to execution, to become someone who doesn't need external validation to fuel internal commitment. Because that's what mental toughness actually requires. Not the ability to perform discipline for an audience, but the ability to maintain discipline in complete obscurity. The person you're becoming doesn't need proof, doesn't need witnesses, doesn't need anyone to confirm that the work matters. They do the work because they said they would. And their word to themselves is enough. That person isn't trying to look strong. They're becoming strong. They're not proving capability. They're building it. And when the results finally arrive, when the business succeeds, when the body transforms, when the skill is mastered, there's no need to announce it. It announces itself. The outcome is the proof. The result is the validation. Until then, silence, work, execution. You don't need their permission. You don't need their applause. You don't need anyone to witness your transformation for it to be real. You just need to do the work, in private, in obscurity, without an audience. That's the key. You've stopped waiting to feel ready. You've stopped performing for validation. You've embraced discomfort. You've claimed your attention. You've abandoned proof-seeking. But there's a lie you're still believing. One that's keeping you from the commitment required.